Younger snakes are believed by many people to be more dangerous than the adults. There's absolutely no truth to that. There's no evidence to suggest it. All the evidence suggests otherwise.
Where they got that misconception from is a lot of babies we've tested are much more toxic than an adult, but their yield is smaller, their mechanism for injecting venom is smaller into the victim, so it's not as more dangerous to the victim. It's just that the venom is different in a lot of juvenile snakes we've tested.
In most rattlesnake species, the babies have more toxic venom than the adults. Why is that? Probably because the babies have to deal with prey that needs to be killed. They don't inject much venom, so they really have to have more toxic venom. As they grow, the adults are dealing with prey that they have plenty of venom to kill, but it needs to be digested. The story is that the baby snakes can't control how much venom they inject, and therefore they inject much more of it. The truth is that these baby snakes have much less venom available than the adults, far, far less venom available. The only study that was done shows they can control it, the release of that venom, just as well as the adults. So there's no reason to believe that part of the story. We know from experiments on strike studies that the adults do inject more venom in predatory bites and in defensive bites. And we know from a number of well-documented studies that snake bites are more severe from the adult rattlesnakes than the babies. I've actually done a study. I looked at newspapers over the years, and I was able to show that this story probably originated in California by the early 1970s. And it remained largely in the California media until the 1990s, when it really took off with the internet. And now it's all over the U.S. I can show from surveys of college students throughout the U.S. that the greatest proportion of individuals who have heard this story and are familiar with it, over 50%, are from the Southwest. Then as you go further east and north, the proportion drops down to like 15 to 20% of college students having heard this story. Ultimately, millions of Americans believe that baby rattlesnakes are more dangerous than adults. Many physicians and other health professionals believe that babies are more dangerous than adults. And this does create a real, genuine risk when it comes to treating snakebite victims. The risk would be that a physician would treat a bite from a baby snake more aggressively than necessary, and perhaps a bite from an adult snake less aggressively than necessary. Yeah, I think there's a real risk there.